Hello. Pardon my interruption. Welcome to part 2 of my hilarious interview where I sat down with the incredibly talented, funny, badass women of MADtv, Mo Collins, Stephnie Weir, and Debra Wilson. We talked for so long. You guys are getting a part 2. Here we go. Thank you. Mo, did you have a favorite character that Steph did and a favorite character that Debra did?
Oh, I didn't look at the questions either.
Mo refused as well.
Favorites? Honestly, the Dot, like I said, because of that was, and it's funny you bring up Anna Nicole because that too was one of my favorites. And I don't think the thing about that was that it's sort of in the same way that Will Sasso's Kenny Rogers transcended into some other being. Mm-hmm. I felt that way with Anna Nicole. Like it was almost more like a Muppet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
You know, that, so it kind of went away from kind of like making fun of her and just became its own entity. And that was you doing her. I loved that. I did. I thought, I don't know. I just thought you were just brilliantly like sassy and sexy and all the things, you know, it just seemed like you were having so much fun in it, too. And now we learned today maybe you weren't because you felt bad.
Well, clearly I got up to speed with it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, because there were some fun things about it.
But same with Dot. Like, Dot is the same. Dot was my favorite, Steph, because of that glint. And it just felt like we were getting this secret look inside Steph, in a glimpse of little girl. It just was so true.
So many fun. Yeah, thank you. They're so fun. Yeah.
And this bitch over here.
Yo, what?
There is nothing like Debra Wilson's Whitney Houston.
Oh, boy.
And that, too, is where it wasn't even Whitney anymore, even though it's a perfect characterization of her, impression. But you just became this other entity as well. And we would look forward to the table reads if you got your pack the night before and you're like, oh my God, we got a Whitney sketch we're reading tomorrow. Because we just collectively, the group, the cast, the writers, producers that were there for the table reads, you know, we just knew the table read was going to be hilarious because Debra was going to be reading Whitney and we were going to get a show. Mm-hmm. Like we were going to get a show. And it was always so fun. So that was always very, 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 very joyful.
And I made sure to play her to be this obtuse person. I always wanted to overextend things because if you hit the drug reference, and a lot of times I asked, take this drug reference out. I'm not going to say give it to Aries, and that's fine, but I'm not going to mention her in drugs. I just want to play her disheveled. My goal was to play her disheveled.
My God, it was so funny. And
Why
there
is it
was
so
your
funny?
drama,
it has
too.
such a tragedy. It's such a
I
tragedy,
know.
but there was something, Muppet is the right word for that, Mo, because
Caricature.
There you go. Yeah, because there was something so just you doing her disheveled.
Oh my gosh.
Whitney took it to 1,000 times. Yeah.
We weren't laughing at Whitney Houston. We were laughing like children with Muppets. You know, it's like it was a physicality and a silliness that we were laughing at. And
you could sing.
Oh my gosh.
And you knew how to, you were in this moment.
Wow.
And it was really fascinating to watch.
It was. Like to add the singing, which was always just so amazing
to me. And the depth to this intelligent, complex woman.
And there's the drama.
Yeah.
Like
and the drama,
The
too,
drama is 200% there. Like straight up drama, but funny as hell.
And at 2, 3 in the morning, sometimes I just hear in my head, Bobby! 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 Yes!
God.
And then one time, we did the sketch where it was Diane Sawyer, the interview.
One of my favorites, because I got to be right there with that character that I love so much. face to face. Remember that, Debra?
And then at one point, I fall between your legs.
Yes.
And Aries improv the line. You look like you just gave birth to you fall between my legs.
Yeah.
And he said, look like you just gave birth to a white woman.
Yeah.
Aries.
Just
and there was
ridiculous.
one in the actual interview with Diane Sawyer on ABC. Whitney just does this once. Like she was, yeah, I get it. And then went back to smiling like, yeah, okay. In that moment, you can see that the frustration or the anger in that moment. And then she goes, present the face again. And so I always extended that.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
So good.
Boy!
Oh, I loved it so much.
Thank you.
I loved it
Deborah.
so much.
Who were your favorite characters that Mo and that Stephnie did?
Oh, my God. If I'm starting with Stephnie, believe Mrs. Campbell. Dot for sure, but Mrs. Campbell. Mrs. Campbell was smarter than everybody else. She came across as this kind of old lady, and you kind of want to hear what she has to say, but then she puts her logic to it that makes you look stupid without making you look stupid.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I loved
She's just
about
an
Mrs.
offshoot
Campbell.
of Dot, in a way, as far as the positivity goes.
Or
you
an
know?
older version of her.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. There's always some sort of Texas accent hidden in there somewhere that, yeah.
Loved her.
But
thanks,
smart.
She was
Thanks
so
to you.
smart.
Smart
I used to
because you know why?
marvel.
She would call people on their shit.
Yeah. She'd call him out.
And without really calling them out, just ask these questions. Go, really?
It was just some of the smartest work that was done on the show.
And did you know, if I hear it, you just shrivel. Like,
Really?
Oh. Isn't it weird how I don't know if you guys react the same way to that stuff, but I'm like, oh, girl, tell it down a little
Love it.
bit.
My favorite sketch is when you go into the hospital room, you're visiting with somebody else, and I think it was Alex and Nicole when one of them had cancer.
One of their father was. This is such a
Oh, the
hilarious.
father, yeah, was
this
dying.
was a Second
was so
City
good.
sketch that I brought over to MADtv.
No, okay.
Okay.
Because I had written it, and so I owned it, and so I was able to take it over. But yeah, it is not a funny scenario. He's dying of lung cancer, and they're very sad. And then
It's a brilliant sketch, though.
and then I'm just like, oh, was he a smoker? And they were like, oh yeah, he did. And I'm like, did you know on the back of the package it says,
Yeah.
you know? And she's not being shitty.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's brilliant.
It was
because,
brilliant.
Presenting facts.
Yes.
But it was
Thank you.
writing
That
that
was
never
perfect
unkind. It's
satire
always-
line.
and, like, I'm asking you questions.
It served everything that satire is supposed to serve.
It judges without judging.
Yeah.
Because I'm asking you questions, so you have to respond to
So
them.
good.
You know what I'm saying? And when you did the sketch where I'm playing the psychic, I forgot her name again.
Cleo,
I passed away. Cleo,
right?
Miss Cleo.
Yes, about 9/11. Yeah.
Yeah. You see it?
Right now.
And here's the one thing I'll never forget: how the audience completely. You hear it so loud when it comes to that, when you ask that question.
Oh,
You
like
just
they're
say-
getting caught up to speed with, yeah.
The audience is so loud at that point because they're now becoming Mrs. Campbell. And it makes so much sense to them that they're looking at the idiot who didn't know. They're not even paying attention to the fact that I'm playing Cleo. It's the fact that you didn't know. How did you not know? And it's like it dawns on the audience that never asks the question. And so they become an active participant. And that's what I loved about Mrs. Campbell, because you have to become an active participant with the questions. And then you go, you're right. With all of with the characters we do, you follow along, you laugh, you know them, you know their monikers and everything. But with Mrs. Campbell, you have to follow along with her. And there's no way you'll ever go against her. There's nothing she can do that you'll go against because it's your logic and her logic. And now you become an active participant as Mrs. Campbell. That laughter proved it. That 9/11 one, laughter proved it. That was the very first Mrs. Campbell sketch that I did with you as Cleo.
That was a lot of fun. Thank
a
you.
lot of fun, and it was hilarious. And that I'll never forget because I had to wait to answer that I couldn't see it in the cards. I had to wait, so I'm like waiting for the laughter to die down,
Did
which
you
took
do
a while.
Cleo more than once?
Yeah, I also did it with Ja Rule.
Mm-hmm.
who was a rapper at the time.
Because she was big at the time. Cleo.
Yeah.
I mean, she was part of the culture.
Yeah.
And Steph, who are your favorite characters that these two did?
She still needs to do Mo.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Y'all know
y'all.
I'm going to say Doreen Larkin.
Mm.
Because here's why that one is number one. That one is number one for me because I don't know how you do it with your face. It's when you look at him and it's, oh, well, I don't know how you do it with your face. And then all of a sudden he goes up. But it's this
Cocaine.
It's
cocaine.
It's every mother's frustration.
It's every mother's
Little-
frustration. And how do I rein my son in with these ridiculous things? But it's the ownership of that where you see this full person. It's not just a character anymore because it's in every sinew of your fingers, your body, every movement. So I look at all those little movements put together, and those are the fucking storytellers. And then they come out of you. Your face tells the story. Your hands tell the story. When your mouth goes, tells the story. It's just all of it tells the story, and then it comes out. Every little movement, and then when your voice goes up, asking questions.
Oh, I found myself
It's brilliant.
accidentally,
Brilliant.
like, as I'm mothering.
Oh no.
Because you're using all those emotions, frustration, anger, fury, all of it, but your child is not afraid of you, which is the key to it not being abusive. You know what I mean? Like they're clearly not.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just captured it so well.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And channeled it into this.
Yeah.
Held equal footing to such a big character, Stuart.
I was really a little nervous about creating her just because I knew Mindy Sterling had been doing this with him
Oh, I didn't know that.
at the Groundlings.
And was her
So,
take completely different?
I still
You
haven't
never-
seen it,
Good
and I
for
won't.
you. Good for
No,
you. Yeah.
I knew I could not.
Mm-hmm.
Michael just came to me and said, "Can you create an overbearing mother?" That was my assignment.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Props to Mindy Sterling. Love her.
Yeah.
But Mindy Sterling didn't have an Academy Award-winning actress like Kathy Bates. Asked, not offered, asked to play Stuart's mom, grandmom. And not only did she play Stuart's grandmom, not from Stuart's father we never see, but doing it as Grandma Larkin and taking her cues from Mo.
That's so great.
That's
What
nice.
a
She came to do it
compliment,
from
Mo.
the accent,
yeah.
And at one point at the pool, you know,
Yeah.
Stuart puts his foot up because you can't get in the pool right now, and he's trying to keep you from grabbing him, and that's what she ended up doing with
Yeah.
Stuart.
People,
it's
people
brilliant.
love Doreen. You know, it's like she's very popular at Halloween.
Yeah, as she should be.
You know, it's
But
just-
she comes from such a place of truth. It's,
Yeah.
She does. You know, I just took from my upbringing in Minnesota, you know, and, you know, the face is sort of like, there's a smile that's sort of pasted there to be at the ready if she needs to.
That's the mouth. That's the mouth. That's the mouth.
It can go brighter, you know, it's sort of, it plays both, I'm about to go brighter, oh, that's
That's the
like the
mouth.
chin can fall a little further into hell. But, you know, what was one of the crazy things about the first time I did Doreen was the day before the live show, that Thursday, from rehearsing Doreen, and that loud is very loud, I lost my voice.
Oh, no.
So show day came, and my voice was more like this. And so Doreen had in rehearsal, I was always talking, but then I was sounding like this the first time I had to record it or tape it. And so from then when Stuart turns out to be something we're bringing back, I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta bring back that closed throat. Which just ended up being another layer of her, but it really literally stemmed from losing my voice.
That's wonderful. Oh, that's neat.
I'm not
That's so
finished.
great.
But Doreen Larkin And oh,
Lorraine.
Lorraine. Thank you, Lorraine. Lorraine, because she's not stupid, and she doesn't hear, but she does hear. And it's
totally.
It's all of those. How can I get that? My favorite one of my favorite ones, is when you were at Michael McDonald was holding a yard sale.
That was the first. Was that the first one? Yeah. The tax? Yeah, that was the very first one where it was still in 3-part. It was the only way, because I auditioned with Lorraine. You know,
Okay.
I actually used to do her up in Minneapolis with my friend Melissa Denton, who was there. It was a two-hander.
Hmm.
Wow.
What was her character's name? Lorraine and
I don't remember the name, but I think I named Lorraine when I then came and auditioned just to give her a name.
Oh, okay.
We were we
Wow.
called ourselves the Banks ladies. We were just thrifters. But and it was a slow, very slow, Lorraine stayed at the table and her character would, and I'd be talking, about the bottle. Look at that. Should I buy it? I don't know. And then her character would wander off. So hers was the wanderer. And then she'd come back and I'd still be on the same thing. So it was just, but she would have other, like she just wandered and Lorraine just stayed. So Lorraine used to be in 3-part until we found a way, to bring her into one sketch, because I couldn't keep taking up, 3 sketches in a show like that with her.
Wow.
But that's in
Body
order to
language.
play
She
out.
was just popping into other people's sketches at MADtv?
No, the first one that we did was Michael had a yard sale and Lorraine shows up and there's a box of tacks, which is how I described it. It was tacks because that's how I improvised in the writer's room to show them how Lorraine operates. And, Michael would just get frustrated, like, do you want them or not? And then we time lapse, come back later. She's still there talking about the tacks. And then third one is it's nighttime and he's in the house. She's still out at the table
that's
with the
funny.
tacks.
Oh, that's
You see,
funny.
so it's like a 3-part, almost like, blackouts, but
Oh, okay.
3-parter.
Body language, voice. I mean, it's like I said, all of these distinct things that hunch over. It was all of these distinct things that made that character. But makes everybody's character in terms of the energy and you bring to it and the commitment, because it's not just a voice, it's taking full ownership. And I loved, like I said, why I'm fans of you both is because you take full ownership with your body and then the voice comes out. Like the voice print is already there, we get
That's
that.
the fun part,
But
though, isn't
it's the body language.
I
It's
do
the
a
body.
lot of shoulder work.
Okay.
Yes,
When
you
I
are.
heard one time Michael
Conditioning.
McDonald,
First
you
thing
were
on your
sitting on his
resume.
lap and he made sure he pushed you off, and then you pop up and you're just smiling. You're just like, you're like, I'm okay, and it's all of that brilliance, the body
In
language.
your spine, I think you carry so many characters.
Which
like
is why
is
it's
Is
I
it-
have osteoporosis
And
now.
you-
Really?
I do actually. I actually do. Oh no, I wrecked my spine for
Sorry, I
the
laughed
love
so
of
loud. I thought it was a
of
joke.
no, it's hilarious to me. Like literally, I think Lorraine really destroyed it. But and so many things. I mean,
How you get to be so sweet sitting.
yeah, I used my
Wisconsin.
body, and I'm paying a wonderful price for it now. No regrets.
Something just occurred to me. Did we ever do a sketch that, because I don't remember it, that you would have like Marvin Tikva and then Lorraine show up and
We
like,
did.
like a garage sale or something.
crossover?
We
with, like,
did.
a what was the crossover?
Well, I remember there was a Van Combe and Lorraine.
oh okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It was weird to do those though. I didn't really like necessarily doing that.
We did. What was the? Oh God! It was a play on Moulin Rouge's.
Oh yes,
Get you.
Yes, which
is-
that work. I mean, that was a
What's Marmalade? Lady
Marmalade,
Marmalade.
Marmalade.
And that
You
was
were
characters going in,
doing
doing
that
those.
worked. That worked
did
great.
worked, even though I was always just like, Dot is like supposed to be 8, and you've got her in lingerie. It feels
Oh, yeah.
weird to
Okay.
be in a, but no,
Yeah,
It worked.
it was
It
fine.
worked.
It was what it was.
yeah. It was a magnificent
Lucy
opener
Liu
to
won't
us.
do Mad TV
It was.
for free. That bitch. Lucy
It was
Liu won't
good.
do Mad TV.
Who were your favorite characters of these two?
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Lorraine and Doreen are a given. I mean, because they're cut from the cloth of people you know. I know, and I can, and it comes across so clearly,
Thanks.
and such a testament to your comedic process. Love them, but I've always been smitten by all of the singers that you've done, like the Madonna, who did in the limousine. God, what's the song that you did? But you were playing her like in her prime in the like a white cowboy hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the gap in the tooth at the
tooth,
time.
Yeah.
and your voice was fantastic. And I feel like you were just every week you were some other pop figure that nailed it every time.
I'm going to add that too. And for me, if you're going to say that, the spot on with the Madonna was Shakira.
Yes,
And I think
yes.
she couldn't stop shaking.
And always a fun little take on it that separated it. You know what I mean? That you were just something that you added to the big personality. It was just such a special skill, and I always look forward to it in the reads and in tapings. And when we would play it back to the audiences always went wild over those.
But you know, I never was doing impressions, and maybe you guys the same before MADtv, and it ended up being one of my favorite things.
You were so good.
It was like
at
a skill, and I really looked to Will
Will Sessa,
for cues on how to do it. You know, I'd get they'd say, give us our VHS tapes. I'd watch 15 seconds of it and literally turn it off and go, what did you see? You know, just to try and get something. But also, I mean, come on, those music videos, that's just teenage Mo pretending, and she's like having a ball. I literally got to pretend to be a pop star on MADtv.
Oh, you could see how much
I
you
loved
enjoyed
that.
It was
I love
great.
music. I loved pretending to be those
But
people.
again,
I
you
loved
have
it.
a great voice, and
I
it always
don't.
you pulled it off.
You pulled it off.
Because it always sounded amazing.
Thank you to Greg in the booth for. I mean,
Greg O'Connor.
Greg O'Connor,
Yeah,
you know.
the magic of Greg O'Connor.
no, I that was the singing scared the shit out of me.
So that was
Thanks.
always admired
Thanks.
that. And Debra, Oprah is, I just loved, you were the best.
I know.
Far and away of anybody else who was doing
Of
Oprah.
course.
And she was
Absolutely.
it's so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
But my favorite character that Debra Wilson does
Oprah.
is Debra Wilson.
Oprah.
That is so accurate.
You live at a voltage that I don't think I know anybody else who lives at it. And I'm not saying it's a put on character. It is fully fleshed out, fully you. You own every single part of it. And when you walk in a room, you're just not going to get, hi, how are you? How was your day? Like, I don't know. And I don't mean character in any sort of, to minimize you in any way. This is genuinely a compliment. But I can't hear your name without. And sometimes Debra will text me out of the blue, just like, Happy Mother's Day, an emoji, or just the most random. And I don't connect with you very often. And I'm flooded with the essence of you.
And that is known throughout whoever has ever met this woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Every fan that has ever met you.
Yeah, and it comes up like if I'm someplace and somebody brings up that they met you, there is a conversation to be had about how amazing you are. It's not just oh, that's great, you met her. No, there's a conversation that happens because of the energy that you spread to every single person you come across.
And every scene that you've done, if I cast you as, I used to do Angela Wright, who would do the videos, and you were the best friend Beth, who had to traipse around in her bra, who was much more overdeveloped than I was, and you always brought something so incredible and dynamic, even if you were off camera. And never overwhelmed the scene. Like you knew how to do the give and take to be a scene partner, to be like, this one isn't about me. This is about this girl, and how can I support her? So,
Thank you.
and that's part of
Yeah.
Debra Wilson's magic.
That is for real.
And last year, again, at Comic-Con, I hadn't seen you in a long time. and you came into the green room, and you were so kind, and we had this great panel. And then when it was over, it was like, we all went back to the green room, but Debra went to the audience and the fans, and then they
course.
carried her away like a sea sprite.
That's so
And
great.
she just disappeared, and we never saw her again.
That is
And, like,
that's so
did
perfect.
she get her keys? Like, I
That
just
is
never saw
perfect.
you again
Same
until
way
today.
After a MADtv show where you were like, hey, thanks, I would, kind of be like, thanks for coming. I'm tired. I'm going. Bye. Long day. Debra Wilson, still there. Okay,
Yeah.
Lightspeed should talk to every single person.
Yeah.
Good at
Thank you.
It was well known at MADtv that we had a third of the budget of Saturday Night Live, and in my humble opinion, I believe that we rivaled them quite well. And we held our own because the cast and crew was incredibly talented, and we made magic in a bottle on a weekly basis with next to no money. So that being said, was there ever like reading at the table read a sketch and wondering how the hell are we going to pull this off, and then we did? Would it be something like The Wizard of Oz?
I remember that being a huge. Rita talked all the time about how expensive that set was because it was actually a higher set too. If you remember, like the walls that they were hanging in the studio, they were exceptionally tall.
Mm-hmm.
It was a totally different vibe on that set. But I remember how there was a lot of talk about how expensive that was and how lucky we were. And don't fuck it up, Yeah.
There was one scene I wrote. There was a movie. It was an independent film that took place where two divers were just left in the ocean. Do you guys remember this movie?
Oh my gosh!
It was like
Yes, I remember that.
the whole movie was them out on the
Oh.
open
Yes.
sea.
Yes.
Wow.
With their life jackets, and they were a married couple.
Now I
and,
remember.
And so I wrote a parody of that where we
that's
were.
great.
It was Mike and I out on the open sea. We're starving, and I turn around and he's eating Cheetos, and I'm just like, Where did you get that? Like, and why wouldn't you share them with me? Anyway, that was one that I thought, I don't know how we're going to do this because the ocean was black and dark
Yeah.
and everything. And we shot it, I think, at Scott Seitz' house.
Oh, funny.
In his swimming pool at night.
Yeah.
And, on no budget. Who knows if
Mm-hmm.
Scott got paid to let us use his home to do it. But
Wonder.
it came together.
I've got to look this up.
It probably wasn't that good. Nobody remembers it. It was, what it was. But yeah.
We used my rental house before I moved to where I am now in a sketch once.
Oh,
I did not. Yeah. I think it was my first season.
Oh.
We shot at my house.
And was it
something.
one of those things where you were just like, we could do it in my house?
No.
They asked you?
They asked because it was the what were they called? Snapshot stories.
Oh, yeah,
So it
yeah.
wasn't. It was a different kind. It wasn't going to be like all the cables. It was a different kind of production. But they asked if they could use my
Did they
house.
rent your house, or did they just no?
We just did it there.
Yeah, I think that's how we did
And
a lot.
you didn't get paid?
No, my mom ordered some Dot merchandise. Do you remember when they did merchandise for like a brief window of time?
They did.
I think they did
No.
Lorraine. I think they
I'm
did
sorry, what?
Stewart, and I think they
kidding
did
me.
a T-shirt of Dot. There were
No
there were a
way.
handful. Now this was, and it was very short-lived. Okay, so my mom's like, "Well, I want to order one." I was like, "Mom, I don't even know how you go about doing this." But so she did. She ordered it, and she works for the U.S. Postal Service in the express mail department. And when she received her shirt, they had taken those, those free express mail bags that you get at the post office.
Mhm.
They had taken them and turned them inside out and used them for their own mailing bags, just to send them out. She was appalled.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but I know it was an inside
tracks.
job. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like they were it wasn't like a big like outsource
That's
this to
wild.
whatever. And I don't. Clearly, it wasn't managed very well because it did
Well,
not take
no,
off.
and of
but-
course I think like, well, I own Lorraine.
right.
Nobody talked to
right.
me about that. She's
And
my
I could,
property.
maybe I'm lying. Maybe there wasn't a Lorraine
Yeah.
because you owned it.
Yeah.
And it seems weird that there would have been a Stewart because I know Mike owns Stewart.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, I don't know.
I mean, we used to
maybe-
talk about that. Like, why aren't we doing these sorts of things? And I know Alex Borstein had tried to make a T-shirt, and she got a cease and desist.
Yeah.
right.
She did for Miss
that's
Swan.
that's right. And I
Wow.
think they probably I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn. I don't know. I don't know what to talk
Yeah.
shit.
It
but
looks like
anyway.
we need to launch an investigation.
I want to know where that $7 is.
I'll take it. I will.
Anyway.
Now, this wasn't in my questions, but we spoke about this before we started.
What are you doing? Brandy?
I've derailed the train. I wanted to talk about the Conjoined twin sketch.
Well, Steph, I don't even know. Did you know that when I went, this is why, Brandy and I have a story to go with it.
No.
Which is that when I went to do, after we had taped the Conjoined Twins, we taped that. And I was very excited about it.
And that table read was hilarious. It was on a Monday. I remember it very well. It was so funny.
Was I in the Conjoined Twins?
You wrote it.
I did.
Yes. You wrote it, and it was hilarious.
Sorry.
No, it was great because I was so excited because
wrote it?
we did, like, I'm such a fan of yours, and I was like, I get to do a physical character with Steph, and I always love a good female two-hander anyway. Like, I'm a huge fan of that. I went to go do ADR because there were songs we sang, like it was like a pop star.
Right. Oh, wait, were we auditioning for American Idol?
Yeah.
That's right.
It's coming back to her. Look at this.
Yes, okay, keep going.
I went to go do ADR. Brandy comes running out to me in the parking lot crying. And she's like, you are not going to believe this. But there's real Conjoined Twins that were singers. And they were in where I was going to record.
Oh.
We were in Studio A. They were in Studio B.
Oh, this
What
is
are the
funny. I
what are the
blocked this.
chances of that? Like, just the absolute
Yes.
chances of
I
at
had
the
no
same time I am going to do ADR for Conjoined Twin sketch about them wanting to be musicians. There's Conjoined
One of them wanted to be a country western singer,
Yes.
and she was there singing The Yellow Rose of Texas. And I had,
But the other one didn't, right? The other one wanted to be home reading.
and that was the characters
Right.
that were written, but that was also true to life to these
Right,
ladies.
right.
Yeah.
And I had just randomly walked into the kitchen, and I just stopped dead in my tracks. And of course, my brain like rewinding everything that had happened this week. And I just remember one of the ladies, there was like a grape on the floor and the cart was stuck. And I was like, do I help? But I will make it worse. And so all I could do was just like walk back into the mix bay, and I'm crying and I'm upset. And so I go and I get Mo, and then I send Mo. I'm like, hey, Mo, you should go to the kitchen and get a muffin or something.
And there
then
they
Mo
were.
comes back and looks like she'd seen a ghost.
Oh, wow.
What like, talk about parallel lives and
Right.
just that's why the sketch never aired.
Good.
And
Thank God. I mean, the dynamic of people, okay.
You wrote it.
I wrote it.
I'm
Hilarious.
so sorry. I'm responsible
Yeah.
for getting one of your sketches cut, but I called Dick Lasucci
No,
just
I
bawling my
think-
eyes off, and I'm like, I have a moral compass, and we can't do this to these women.
Well, it
It's
serves
too
me right to
cruel."
be on the receiving end of that, because I think there's something trying to make a decision in my household of like where we're going to eat or whatever with whatever different is impossible. To do it as a conjoined twin would be, there is some inherent conflict that is funny there,
There is.
but it should never have been a scene.
No,
and
you know,
No, it should have.
it was really good.
And had it succeeded, had it succeeded, and it probably would have had this situation not, where art imitate completely.
if
It
they
was
had
too
really-
on the nose with the singing. That
Right.
really was the thing. Like, there was plenty for us to discover as these characters, and
And
why
hopefully
not?
for them to be able to be like, oh my God, that's what we
I
live
see
through
myself. Yes,
every day.
There's ways of doing it,
Without
but
being,
it was
yeah.
so on the nose that it looked like we were making fun of.
Yeah.
But you didn't know.
Well,
You didn't know. We didn't know.
I'm glad that is. There's not.
But we
anything
were
someone could
hilarious.
Google right now.
We
and
were
be like,
hilarious.
Written
erased.
by Stephnie Weir.
They never saw, never made it to air, Steph. Never
dear
made it,
Lord.
which was just a tragedy.
I have
That
talked
and
to-
Schindler's Lost.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, well, there was
Yeah.
then somebody had a moral compass
little bit.
there, a little bit.
a little bit.
Did any of y'all have a embarrassing moment in front of a live audience? Didn't you streak naked? I think
Oh,
you streaked
that
naked.
was-
But that wasn't
but that wasn't
embarrassing.
embarrassing
That
for
was
you. That was
life
just
I've done that
that
a
was just a
couple of times.
Tuesday.
Did you do that in
Right.
front of the audience? I don't.
What I did was remember at one point we had these quick change booths behind
Yeah.
the flats in the back, just set up with tick, 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 a piece of carpet that they found in the back somewhere from another set, that had real carpeting, and they just cut out a square. And normally I hear everybody else changing, or hey, we got the blah blah blah. I would hear Tammy Cumin, who was the AD, who was
Yeah.
the second AD. I would hear her saying, okay, blah blah blah. But I realized I was getting undressed, and I take everything off before I put everything on, something else on. And I'd taken everything off, and it was dead silent. In other words, you hear the audience, but I didn't hear anybody back there. I didn't hear anybody from makeup or wardrobe or anything. So I popped my head out, and there was no one there. But if you step out a little bit, which I did, you could see between the flats. So I'm like, I wonder if anybody can see me between the flats. And so I stood between the flats, kind of, just to see. And then between two flats, I just walked back and forth with my eyes out there in the audience. No one can see me. What if I go all the way across? What if I go all the way? So what I did, I went all the way across where an audience could see me at the very, very end. And I poked my head out. And then when I saw nobody was looking at me, I stepped out and then turned back around. And I went to the other side. And I went to the other end where the audience could see me. And I went to see if the audience could see me, and no one was looking. So I stepped out and then went back inside, and no one said any word. And except I kept running back and forth to see who's going to come and stop me.
And further each time. Amazing.
And then Tammy Cumin, all she had to say, she was really upset. But she was upset with me because she was afraid I was going to step on a nail.
Oh, she didn't want you to get tetanus.
Yeah.
She was like, you got to put shoes on. She
Shot is
cared
a
about
bitch.
shoes.
Yeah.
What I remember, and tell me if I'm remembering this correctly, but we did a Price is Right thing where your character gets picked. She's wearing a tube top, and she runs down the audience. And I
Yes.
believe you had pasties on or something on the tube top, so the rest of the real audience wouldn't get an eyeful. But they came off or something. Like there was at some point where we were like, Debra, it's really happening.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
that was the Lorraine sketch.
Oh, it was. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Spicer.
And then I came over and Lorraine had a
Kevin-
little.
Oh,
yeah.
you, Deborah, you, Diane,
I-
Diana
A little
Roster.
bootleg.
I gave her what she wanted.
I absolutely wanted that. And I'm pretending like, it's not, well, it's okay.
Uh-huh.
But let me tell you, there was a Price is Right where a black woman was on, and she was
Yes.
on
Oh,
stage,
yes.
and she had her hands up in a tube
Yes.
top, and it came down, of course. And I said, I want it to come down. Don't make my tube top because I want to kind of, even if nobody knows that episode, I want to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Spicer was like, absolutely not. And I said, well, what if I wore pasties over my nipples? And he said, yes, that legally would be allowable. So I forgot who put them on. I think it might have been Felicia Linsky. Put one on, put the other on. I loosened
Oh, Debra.
one of them.
What does Mama say about loosening up your pasties, Debra? Oh,
I don't want to say.
Okay, if they see the boob, but not the underneath the pasty.
But here's what ended up happening.
my
The
Lord.
tube top wouldn't come down.
yeah.
So instead of, when I was supposed to run through the audience, I was supposed to face the cameras. And instead, I was like, fuck that, I'm going for broke. I faced the audience members and was tripping over people so much in their faces, hoping they'll rub or push and that they would make it come down. It didn't come down until finally on the stage.
That's when.
But I wanted it to come down, and because my thing is this, and the reason I wanted that, because I knew they would blur it anyway. So what was the point of wearing pasties to me? It didn't make sense because I know they would blur it.
Damn it.
And because it was MADtv at that time, nobody's going to go like that sexual harassment. So I loosened one of the pasties, and then when it wasn't happening, I kept rubbing up against the audience, like pretending to trip with my tits in their face.
We can, yeah.
I want to say, post-production representative here. So when we would do anything like pixelation or, a lower third or Chiron, you always had to have a clean version of it to go to Europe. And I was like, oh, we need to keep the pixelation in. I think that went to Europe without the pixelation.
There you go.
I am not 100% sure, but I think I remember reading something because I'm like, I made sure I protected you whether you wanted it or not. Just like Tammy not wanting your feet to, step on a nail. I'm like, I'm going to protect her. But you had to have a clean version for them to, put it whatever, the Chiron or whatever in German or in Spanish or wherever it went. So I think the pixelation when it went over may
This
not
would
have
explain why Deborah is so popular.
why you're
in
so
Europe.
popular. And
That's not the
Hero
first
Deborah.
time, because someone brought it up. I was in an international airport, and this gentleman had a phone. And he showed me that every time his phone rang, I came up with my tits out.
Oh.
Not on MADtv. It was some interview. It was like some interview, and it was not an interview about me, but interview about parodies on TV or the most embarrassing moments. It was like, the most embarrassing moment. And they were talking about Drew Barrymore, who jumped on David Letterman's desk and
Right.
flashed.
Oh, right.
So I did that, thinking they were going to pixelate it anyway.
And then they didn't.
And they did, but they don't in Europe.
Oh, I see.
And so he showed it to me. And I was like, well, that's what you get.
Well, this
Thank
is
you, Dr. Hayworth of Beverly Hills.
important things
Worked
to
out.
remember.
People are like, are those real? I'm like, yeah, real expensive.
Remember that for the next,
Well,
if
speaking
I
of
ever.
Speaking of badass women in comedy, let's talk about the Crow Comedy Club in Santa Monica in the Bergamot Arts District. It's owned and operated by a badass woman who happens to not only be a comedian, but she's also a mom. The Crow is one of my favorite places, and it also happens to be a super inclusive 501c3 nonprofit theater that uses comedy and storytelling for good. The Crow Comedy Club is one of those places where any day of the week you can catch a hilarious show with all the hottest comedians in town in one of their 2 theaters. I highly recommend taking a class, heading up their open mic, or even enrolling your kids in their summer comedy camp. Or maybe you want to just go laugh your ass off with some friends, grab a cold beer, and see a funny show. The Crow Comedy Club is a great space to see a show and start your comedy journey, so maybe one day you can be the next badass Mo Collins, Debra Wilson, or Stephnie Weir. For more information, please visit thecrowcomedy.com. Again, I have a sponsor. What?
Woohoo!
For this part 2. What was the happiest moment you had on the show?
Oh my gosh, how do you even narrow that one down? Happiest. It's a collective for me.
Was
feel
it
like
every
the-
Friday, like live taping?
Yeah, I love the run-throughs. Everybody was down there, and you were kind of tweaking, and before the audience, came in, like those were always fun. I think that was when I was most present, to be like, wow, look what I get to do. Once the audience got in there, I think I was so hyper-focused on just getting it right or whatever, but I really enjoyed those moments.
You?
Very, very, very specific. When I first joined the cast, I kept talking about in interviews and things like that, Kim, get Mark Hamill, Star Wars, Mark Hamill. I willed him into my life. I'm not joking, I literally used the Force to will him into my life before I was doing any of this. I was in New York when I met him, and I used the Force to will Mark Hamill into my life. He was not supposed to be on the show. That's the dark side. He ended up being on the show because of all these moments that came together that seemed to be random, but the timing was completely the Force. He ends up doing a sketch that I'm not in. He does a game show sketch. He does a Funky Walker, Dirty Talker. I'm not in any of them, but he's on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then they write me in as Coco Latette, introducing him on Funky Walker, Dirty Talker. And then Phil Lamar, Funky Walker, Dirty Talker, has me sit down on the couch, and Mark Hamill starts flirting with Coco Latette, and then I pass out. From the day I saw Star Wars to this connection and a force pull, literally, to meeting him in New York, to telling him that I can use the force to connect us, because I was only doing improv in New York, had no intention of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Him saying, I love sketch and improv, love sketch and improv. To moving out to LA, to have him begin to know the show, to connecting with him because the producers had said, he does, his people say no. We finally were going to do that, Deb, we're going to surprise you. His people said no. To me, leaving the dressing room at 11 p.m., at the exact same time that Phil Lamar comes out, Mark Hamill, comic book fanatic, had his own comic book on Dark Horse Comics called The Black Pearl. Phil Lamar, comic book fanatic, lets me know Mark Hamill will be signing his new comic book, The Black Pearl, at Universal City Walk. I was on some talk show, and they would try to get Mark Hamill because, again, all of my pre-talk was always Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker with the Force, it's bringing me to all of this. They were going to have him on a talk box, whatever, and they're going to pipe him in. That didn't work. That was an epic fail. And so it was a Star Wars Monopoly board set that he had signed because he knew about Debra Wilson from MADtv, but didn't know and didn't remember that I was the chick who said in New York all those years ago. Anyway, they write me into Funky Walker, Dirty Talker. And A.J. Johnson, in front of a live audience, goes, all right, everybody, settle down. All right, and in 3, 2, and obviously you don't say 1 and 0. And in that silence, from that person who saw Star Wars to connecting with this character in this film, to using the Force and believing in the Force, to all these connections that were thwarted. When I went up, and I'll tell you how, when I went up to Universal City Walk, and he says, oh my God, Debra Wilson, MADtv, we love the show. He had no idea that it was the same person. And then I reminded him of the woman, blah, blah, blah. He goes, oh my God, I do remember that. Oh my God. And I said, too bad you didn't want to do the show. He goes, what are you talking about? His people said no without checking with him because they were waiting for and hoping for a Saturday Night Live in SNL or something bigger. And he said, no, I want to do it. Then in there, took out a piece of paper, gave me his phone number, and said, you keep that, and you give it to the producers. I'm doing the show.
Awesome.
Have them call me personally. And so from that moment in New York, where I left my job and said, if you have to fire me, fire me. But I have a destiny to meet this man and tell him his performance. And I'm not crazy. I don't think he's Luke Skywalker, but this character going through this turmoil to love yourself and find yourself and live a greater destiny. I had no idea that was me, but I felt it. Me rejecting the vehemently rejecting the entertainment industry. And then coming from that space to that ownership and finding my space, not just in New York, but in California. To that moment, A.J. Johnson goes 3, 2, and in that silent moment, everything hit me. It hit me hard. And in that silence, you just hear someone bawling their eyes out. And that's me, because he was on one end of the set, I was on the other, and he just goes,
Aw.
And in that moment, I lost my shit. That, to me, was the most amazing moment because it wasn't just about the happiness. It was about finally getting to that place where the magic and the reality come together, where you can accept yourself and accept that what you have is worthy to be in that space. Because for 4 years on that show, I felt unworthy. I felt like a fraud. And it was easy to hide behind the fun and the joy of it, to stay connected to it. But part of that drama was the unworthiness of this, and that someone is going to find out that I am a poser because I didn't believe in myself enough. And to have those moments come together at that moment was a profound joy and happiness that stuck, so that who you see today, that was a pivotal moment in there.
Have you stayed in touch with him?
We did for a while, and we worked together on various animation. In fact, at one point, he invited me over for a barbecue, and I was like, my goddaughter was in town. I was like, do you want to meet a celebrity? You want to go to a celebrity? Because I told her, I was like, I'm telling you, when you come, I don't know any celebrities. I don't know any big people. We're going to go hang out. If you want to go to Universal Studios, he calls me that Friday and says, we're doing a barbecue. Want to come over? So I was like, oh my God, bring your camera. I don't know who you're going to meet. You're going to meet, that's why I thought maybe Harrison Ford was going to be there. You never know. And it was just two of his friends, and me and my goddaughter.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was
that.
very credible.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that, Mark Hamill being on MADtv is how my Star Wars lunchboxes, all three of them, thank you, were originally signed by him.
Wow.
And then as time went on, I got Carrie and Harrison and Billy D.
Wow.
Well done.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you. Mo, magical moments on Mad?
Every time I had to try not to laugh. Many.
I reached out to several of my female comedy friends, and I told them that I was going to be talking to you. And I asked them, like, would you guys want to ask me some questions so that this isn't just from my perspective? And so the next couple of questions that I have are
They're female comics or just female? Oh, that's cool.
They're both. Yeah.
But both, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Good idea.
So on this one, they all wanted to know, how do you handle rejection?
Silence.
That was like a big one.
Enjoy the silence. Rejection, just get good at it. Until, it's...
Is it like pretending that you're a duck and just letting the water roll off your back and just keep going?
It's not rejection, is it? It's just a no.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be rejection. It's just a no. It's part of the business. And you're going to have a lot of them. And makes that yes all the more precious. But it's not a rejection. It's a lesson. It's just a no. It's all it is. Don't make it something.
Okay.
I think that's key, is not living in it. Or
Yeah.
letting it go, not, making your life so full you can point your ship towards the things that don't feel like that, and letting this be a small part of it, and going on to all the victories, because there are also a lot of,
There's a lot. Yeah. And the victories sometimes are inside that no.
Okay.
I find that very interesting. So I point the question back at them. Why would they think of it as a rejection? So where are you coming from that you would think of it as a rejection, number one? And number two, it's not a rejection when you love what you do and you know you're great at what you do and you're honing your craft and you're still doing that thing, that if you don't get me, that's okay, someone else does. I don't need 100 people to get me, but the one that gets me will always be there.
And I'm not speaking from actual experience. I am just...
You have never heard no.
Yeah.
Never.
It's been yeses all along for Steph Weir.
Yes,
I'm
and...
assuming that is what you would do.
Yeah. I'm so familiar with no that I changed my name to Mo just to rhyme with it. So when I hear Mo, I'm like, it's just calling my name. You almost had it, bitch. It's Mo. You're a one letter off, aren't you?
So this next question is also same category. We are on video, so Kyle will be editing. So if no one wants to answer this question, we don't have to, and it can just be cut.
I'm
Are we
scared.
taking our clothes off? What's happening? What?
I know.
I know. I mean, Deborah,
I'll
this
see
is
how
for
old I
Deborah.
get.
Deborah,
Loosen your
no.
belt.
Deborah.
Wait, I don't have pixelation in my budget.
Okay.
Send it to Europe.
Yeah, send it to you. This podcast is going to be huge over there. Do you have any Me Too stories of being a woman in comedy, and do you feel comfortable sharing?
I personally don't have any stories that upended my self-esteem or my career. I'm sure I did. There were jobs I didn't get because I wasn't maybe, sexy enough or pretty enough or any of that. But and did I encounter misogyny all the time? I think it was part of the culture. But no, I don't have any. No, I don't think I have anybody that I would categorize as that.
I didn't have anything crushing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a playground I chose to play in.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I was bent over, I'm sure I bent some guys over as well, right? Like it's just sort of, but there was a trust. There's a trust.
Yeah.
The men in my circles of comedy are my brothers, and they actually are part of the reason that I gained so much confidence as a woman, because they were complimentary and nice to me. And yeah, like they which isn't to say, yeah, misogyny was, it's always been there.
There was the thing that sticks out to me, because my son had asked me recently something very similar, and I'll say, you know what? Whenever I got MADtv and you go hair and makeup and everybody's doing you up, they said more than once, the note that we got is we need to make you more fuckable. And that was pretty standard to hear. Like, no one was like being tender about batting that around. And I even heard it in the culture that we were living in, which was like, yeah, when you go somewhere, you need to. But in my mind, I thought, well, I'm wanting to make people laugh. I already have someone, I was married at the time, who wanted to fuck me, and I didn't need more. I wasn't on the hunt for that. So maybe I just like played around with it in my mind. But in retrospect, looking back at that, you wouldn't say that to, anybody, really.
Yeah.
The word, I'm going to give you a very specific, unfuckable, and it comes from MADtv.
Mm.
Yeah.
When I was brought in, after I was hired to do my consult with hair and makeup, the word that came down from producers was, we need to make Mo more fuckable.
That's exactly.
The
yeah,
exact words. Uncle Matthew he said it to me. He let me know.
That's who told me to, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is our
And it's just-
hairdresser, Matthew Katzen, who's lovely,
Yes.
lovely human.
It was not his words.
Yeah.
But it was, I didn't let it crush me. I don't know. I'm like, okay, make this nerd girl pretty, do whatever.
Mhm.
Great. And we, it's like we all did get to play pretty characters and all these, which is like, great. I'm still me and I have my feelings about how I look or whatever, but, and that's just been a great story actually going forward. But I don't have any crushing. I could,
No
I-
interactions.
that
you
that
mean
just destroyed me.
Right. We're,
Mhm. There was shit. Of course there was.
all around, yeah.
All around, and certainly when I'd go do stand up or like that, there's stuff, but I think I just knew that was the playground. And I was tough, and I let it bounce off me, I should say.
And you, Deborah?
Just let it bounce right off my titties. There, I had to say it. Just bouncing right off my titties.
I'm clutching my pearls.
What?
I have to admit, I have never, ever had that come up in the entire time that I've been working in this business. And I think that's because I carry this androgyny in terms of my toughness, and I'm one of the guys, I'm one of the chicks, and I fuck around with everybody. And so there was never. I don't think I was approachable that way. I don't think I was ever approachable that way. But I also think with MADtv, being the funny black chick was not something you fucked with.
Yeah.
I think there was. I honestly believe that there was a race
That's
standard.
good.
I believe that there was absolutely, with everything that I can, every fiber of my being, I believe at the time that there was a race standard. You know, black chicks, you don't fuck with them.
Same
You
with
don't,
tall girls. I'm serious.
Interesting,
Tall girl has been it's just sort of
A gift.
we're not. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know why, but that has, yeah, it's sort of a thing that I've
wonder if
noticed.
there's also a funny girl thing. Like, I feel like the funny girl, I don't
We're
know. 'Cause
intimidating. We can be intimidating to them.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
And also like
definitely.
performing with men so much because you were always like one girl on a team of men and you felt like there were, there were absolutely guys along the way that you were like, oh no, I'm not going to that side of the dressing room, or I'm not hanging out at that bar very late,
Yeah.
especially not with that guy. And that, I want to make it clear that it doesn't mean this is, I wouldn't want anybody to hear this and be like, see, it wasn't there,
Yeah.
because I know there are plenty of young women who were, right there alongside with me who have a different experience. I was just feel
Right.
like I sidestepped anything traumatic.
Same. Yeah.
So on the other side of that, has kind words mean everything? Do you have a memory of somebody just randomly saying the nicest, kindest thing to you that kind of kept you going, or you're like, oh, I needed that today?
Oh, there've been many.
So many. I think of
Yeah.
Lauren Dabrowski when I was
Yeah.
relatively new in my second year, and she called me queen. And she said, "You're just not my problem," and I love that. Like, I wasn't
That's a nice
problematic
way
to
to put
her.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
I just shown up and done what I was supposed to be doing, and whatever. And as an A+ student, that's really what,
That's nice.
yeah, rang in my ears for a long time. But yeah, I feel like there've been so many wonderful things,
So many.
right, that just come out of the blue when you don't expect it.
Yeah.
Somebody approaching you in an airport, or who say something heartfelt that they
Yeah.
related to you that
Yeah.
Totally.
For me on the set, it was when if a crew member laughed because they're behind
Oh,
the
that's
cameras
so
and doing
good.
something, or as I'm walking by, like, yeah, it was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Their validation meant more to me than producers.
Oh,
You're
the
right.
crew is everything.
You're right.
Wow. Yeah.
This is from an improviser friend. What do you eat before the show, and what would you avoid? And that is, for when you were on Mad, or even if you're doing a show today. Is there, like, for me, I can't eat food all day if I'm going to go
Oh.
perform on stage, and then I will inhale food as soon as I leave the stage.
Well, that was a big night of show that we had to do. It's not like we were just going to do, an hour and a half theater production. You had to do a whole night, but at the same time, you wanted to have energy to do it. So I know my thing with that was to kind of eat clean. I was still eating meat back then. I'd have like chicken and some vegetables. I wouldn't eat pastas and breads and things because they make me tired. So, and then, during the course of, we had crafty, and certainly I'd go grab a plate full of bacon. I did. Yeah. And water and juice.
I don't usually, if I have an improv show or something, I don't usually eat right before it.
Yeah.
Nothing heavy for sure. Keep in mind.
Same. I can't.
but
I'm
no,
also
real-
afraid of farting.
Farting on
Same.
stage, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I know, like,
Felt
depending
that,
on what I
yeah.
eat or how I eat, I am afraid, like, I don't want to be farty.
What was it? Stuart called it fanny belches.
Fanny belches.
Fanny belches. Don't want a fanny
Yeah,
belch on
I
stage.
eat for energy and not to
Yeah.
be full and slow.
And you, Deborah?
MADtv felt like a second home when I finally found my groove.
Uh-huh.
So I never really thought about it. It was like, I'm eating, and then we're going to do the show. And, so it's like, this is a regular thing now, because it was like everyone's at all the different dinner tables, but we were all there. you know, and then there was a time so that you have to go now get dressed and blah, 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 you know, so your friends were dressing you, your friends were putting on your makeup, you ate craft service, and you met people at the table, and you sat and you ate a dinner or a meal, and you talked about anything but the show, anything but the show at when you were sitting down and having dinner, and then it was like, go back. So for me, it was all this warm, extended family feeling, so I never thought about it. Now I do. Whenever I'm doing anything.
Or something physical. Like if you're doing something physical.
Well, on the show, I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was just, I'm just going to eat, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But if I'm doing anything outside of that, I eat after.
Okay.
I like having a clean vessel.
I don't think about it too much anymore. At the time when they would do we did like a Fanta commercial, and I had to wear this bikini and be spray tan. There were things that I was just like, well, you know, that you would diet or you would try to not eat too many bagels. I love bread and bagels because it would make, you know, so I did a lot more thinking about that stuff back then, I think.
Well, and, you know, I do find too, like if you're working on set, you know, and a lot of times in the middle of that long day is lunch or dinner, depending, and then of course when you get back on set after eating, you just I've found it's very important to watch what I eat on that meal, because you're going to be tired no matter what. No matter you are eating to a degree, but it's like trying to find foods that aren't going to make you absolutely fall asleep when you have to go back on set.
And
the
sleep
post
on that
lunch
side of your head.
I know. That post lunch.
That. Or it always happens to me that I finally am like, I just have to get a snack, and then they turn it around on you.
Of course.
Just when you're like trying to get the Oreos out of your teeth.
Yes, always. It's like it's law.
Do you have any advice for anyone starting out in comedy today?
I would say nobody knows what they're looking for. So don't try to cater yourself to that. Like what people want is your original voice.
I would agree with that. I think that there's a lot to be done with truth of yourself, whatever you're putting it, like you're enough. You are enough.
I have, and I know this to be true for a lot of people who are, you know, in the business, but like I've written and sold a lot of comedy scripts. Did that for a living for a very long time.
Do you still write?
I do still write. And every time, you know, a blind script is like where you're selling the idea and then you go write the script. And I've sold dozens of these. And every time I sold one, first place I would go is to a bookstore to find a book on how to write a sitcom. Because and no matter who you ask, nobody knows. Nobody knows the proper, I mean, there's so many different formats. I mean, that stuff is in place, but as far as it has to be a certain way, it really is, all people want is an original voice. Yeah. So bring your original voice and don't be inhibited.
And you're not going to know what that is necessarily to start. It took me years to figure out what is my voice. I was trying everything, but that's the truth of that, is that I don't know my voice yet. I'm going to try everything until I figure out what my voice is. You know, particularly when it comes to like the stand-up stuff, because I'd been busy with wigs on my head and playing everybody but myself. But at least I was truthful to those characters that I was in. But try it all, do it all, and just perseverance is key.
Yeah, it's not the nose, it's how quickly you shake them off.
I love that.
Hey,
write it down. Hashtag. I feel like go Stephnie. Go Stephnie. Go Stephnie.
We just solved the world's problems.
I think we did.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Did you have any advice on that?
Just to tailor what both you said, but in a different way, is I have no advice. Just go. You'll know what feels good. You'll know what doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And finding your authentic voice.
Yeah.
And measuring your success by your own
breasts.
By your own breasts, yes.
That is so true. Don't measure, and here's another thing, and I wish I'd learned this earlier. Hold your value.
Yes.
Hold your value. Come on, man. Hold your value.
I remember Rich Tallarico, who's one of the writers, told me one time, he was like, hey, it's not a race. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Of course, at this point in my life, there's only a little bit of sand at the bottom of that hourglass.
What you doing? Why are you saying that?
Yeah.
Why are you saying minute.
Wait a second, old man Jenkins. I was fooling you kids the entire time.
And you would have gotten away with it, had you?
Almost. So close. Do you have any parting words that you would like to say to the fans of MADtv?
Before the gas fills the room and we all... Sounds like a...
I ate well before the show, so it's
Before-
not me.
Well, I meant poisonous gas. It sounds like a... Do you have any parting words before
Parting
we
words.
bury you all?
You gotta walk the plank and go into the ice.
Just want to say thanks for still thinking about MADtv and the things that we did. Thanks for still revering our show. We had a great time doing it.
So much fun.
We feel really lucky to have been a part of it. I'm grateful it still exists in the ether.
It still brings so much joy.
So much joy. And you fans have always mattered. Always. Thank you for being there.
Yay. I second that.
You've brought us into your homes so many times. So for the one time we get a chance to say thank you, it means the world to us. It means the world. It means the world, because every time you made the choice to bring us into the most comfortable place, the most loving place, sometimes the place was a hospital. Sometimes the place was not a happy space to be in, but you found something in us, a comfort, not just the humor, but the comfort and the love of what we do that would transport you or just make you reminded of someone you love very much, or a teacher or someone that you couldn't stand or whoever, but you made these choices in your life, to bring us in time and time and time and time again, and season after season after season. So for this one time, all I can say is, with sincerest gratitude, I thank you for trusting what we have to bring to the table, because it really does. The foundation is not just humor and comedy, it's love. We love what we do, and you know that, and so we're giving you ourselves along with our characters. So thank you for seeing all of that in us. Thank you.
We should also say there's not going to be, it's not coming back. Like we get this all the time. It's not coming
It
back.
had its time.
It had its time. Thank you for even wanting it to come back. Reboot, all that. I'm sorry, it's just not.
It's been attempted, and you saw what happened.
All of that. But, just keep watching the old stuff, because it still stands up. And, but as much as my knees wouldn't, my hips, I can't. My spine, that show's over.
Do you have anything you wanna?
All the same. Yeah. That every time somebody approaches me, it's always at an airport. Do you guys feel that when you're flying?
Never approached.
Never approached.
No.
And I
Airport?
feel like that
Almost
is
never.
No. Maybe
Maybe it's because I don't travel.
no.
Yes,
Well, anyway.
once or twice a year I'm recognized.
Okay. I feel like here I'm not. It's so much, but
Yeah.
or maybe at the CVS. Did I tell you, Mo, when I did your show recently? I forgot to tell you. I went to the CVS to buy cough drops because I was kind of
Oh,
ailing,
yeah.
right? And the guy said, "Stephnie Weir, I loved MADtv.
Wow.
I actually had the opportunity to meet Mo Collins when I worked at Ralph's."
Oh my
And
gosh.
she was so nice to me. And I said, I am on my way to see Mo
No
Collins.
way.
I will tell her.
That is so great.
So now I'm telling you.
a little
weeks
late,
later,
Steph. A little late. It's
I
2
could've-
weeks ago.
could've
That
helped
was
the
2 weeks
show.
ago, my friend.
I needed to keep that in my back pocket.
Yeah. No, that's
Didn't
super
want you
nice to
getting a big
hear.
head.
I
know.
love that. That's just
it's
that's
always
beautiful.
so wonderful.
When I was printing these up at Staples, the gentleman went, and I was explaining what it was, just exploded in joy. And
Aw.
There's still real that joy, that enthusiasm. It's still very real.
Yeah.
The nostalgia of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you ladies have anything you want to plug?
My husband and I do an improv show called Weird Ass. His last name's Robert Dassey. And we're doing ImprovCon in San Diego.
What?
August 20th through the 23rd, which I think is like the first improv con.
No
that's
way.
awesome.
Yeah, won't that be fun? Yeah.
I want to
So
get
I'll
in
be
on
there.
that.
Yeah. And I'll be in Chicago doing Bluebird Improv
Oh, good.
on May 16th.
I will be up
Okay, go
in
away.
Minneapolis, actually, June 25th and 26th at the Bryant Lake Bowl, place that I used to haunt, and doing my Mo Collins' Wigging Out show. They're not selling, they have not announced it yet, so tickets are not on sale yet, but June 25th and 26th, and hoping to come to a city near you soon.
And you, Deborah?
I'm plugging my ears.
There you go. Well, it also sounds like...
I'm making a reptile cage. I'm making my first time 6-foot reptile cage. That's what I'll be doing. So I'm gonna go home and finish some of the stuff that I'm doing for it tonight, and then I have to turn it on the side so it can cure, and then do the other side, and then flip it on the other side. So hopefully it'll all be done by Sunday.
Nice.
And we can all come and see it?
Yeah.
Are we all coming over?
I've got 15 enclosures, so
Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
but yeah,
Well, And I think we established, because now this is probably episode 3, because we went a little long, which is awesome. More material for me. But it sounds like we're going to be doing a ghost storytelling show at the Crow in Santa Monica in October.
I know you have a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
they're
I
really
can't
good.
even, like, it already has, I get a little...
okay.
I have one.
Paranormal investigation too. I've done professional paranormal investigation.
Same here. And I was on Crossing Over with John Edward with
Oh my
you. It was
gosh.
a 2-part episode, and mine was so good that they held it over for sweeps.
Wow.
And I have one about you.
And it fixed me. And like it was weird because I had my grandmother was killed in a car accident when I was 12, and that information that I got from that episode took so much weight off of my life that I had carried with me for like 19 years. So I'm like, I'm always be indebted to you about that. But if you come to the Crow to see our Halloween ghost storytelling
Yes,
show.
because I do have one. I have one about Brandy Stillwell.
Oh,
2.
wait, do I know
Very-
it? Is
Very
it
too
one
specific. We're saving
so
it.
about
Ruin it.
We're saving it because there are 2 of them that were very specific.
Wait,
That kind of chilled me. We're not talking about that, Brandy. I'm
but
gonna
you also
because I remember.
Remember, we also ghost hunted on the lot.
Save
Oh, it's
it.
about that.
Save it.
Yeah, what? And we-
Save it because they're really good.
Queen Mary. Okay, you guys, what? Thank you, Deborah, Mo, Stephanie, for coming in to chat with me today. We've made it to the end
Thanks
of
for
the
having
show. Yay! And I think I got 3 episodes out of this. I want to say that we've dropped some knowledge on people. We've helped fellow comedians. Thank you for walking down memory lane with me. This was so much fun. I am going to be cornering you to maybe help me interview Michael McDonald. You brought that up. I'm bringing it up on camera, so I'm going to hold you to it. Yeah, I'm just so thankful for you. Like, all 3 of you. You guys are comedy crushes. I know you're probably like, every time you do a show, you're like, Brandy's here. I'm like, no, I just love you and I'm supportive.
Never.
You guys, this is the credit portion of the show. Mad Rewind is recorded at the lovely studio venue just south of fancy downtown Burbank. Please visit their website at thestudiovenue.com for all your recording needs. Mad Rewind is produced by Dan Holden and Lily Romero, engineered by Kyle and Teresa Tucker, and edited by Kyle Tucker, hosted and executive produced by Brandy Stillwell. That's me, what? Please spread the word about the little train that could, our little podcast, Mad Rewind. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again for spending your time with us, because I know it's valuable, and there are a lot of podcasts out there for you to choose from. Just know that you are appreciated. XOXO. Bye.